Welcome to another episode of Exceptional TV with me, your host, Alex Granger. Today, I'm excited to be speaking to Sonia Dube, the founder of The Black African Woman, a life coach and an exceptional person. So let's get to it. Right, we're on set this day today, because earlier I made a mistake, and with Sonia Dube, founder of The Black African Woman, a great organization that I've been following, and I couldn't get in, obviously, because I'm not a Black African woman. I'm just a BAM. Yes. Maybe I should start my own thing,
Maybe
right?
You could. Come on, Alex. Yeah.
Could be something to consider. So, Sonia, welcome.
Thank
it's great to have you on board. So, in a nutshell, like they would say on Black Panther, Ungubani, who are you? Who is Sonia?
Yes. So, who's Sonia? I'm still actually learning who Sonia is, but what I've gotten so far is just brief background. I am the first daughter in a family of 3.
Right.
So there's 5 of us in my family, from Zimbabwe originally. And I am a woman who I think has gone through, identity crisis. So.
But do you know who you are now? Because just in case, if you're still going through it.
No. Now
you know.
Now I'm more settled in who I am.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I think what defines me more than anything, obviously, child of God, daughter of God, but I'm someone who has a passion for seeing people becoming all they can be.
Right.
That's who Sonia is. So I love to encourage people, inspire people.
Right.
I enjoy writing. So that's another medium in which I can do that. I enjoy speaking to people, having conversations, much like this.
Like this,
or everyday conversations for that matter. And I'm a lover of people, of nature, and reading. I don't think you can ever learn too much. You can't get enough information.
True.
There's always more that you can learn. And I'm a lover of Africa and all things African.
You do know we're related somewhere, right?
I think so.
Because we've had this conversation before. My mom's Dube, you Dube as well. I think somewhere at the top there, it does meet.
Yes.
And I really like what you're saying, because you pretty much share what I do, right? So I also, I'm in that space as a speaker, trying to help people achieve the best that they can for their lives.
Yeah.
What are some of the values that you really aspire to?
Okay, so there are 3 core values that I try to live by.
Okay.
The first being love. So this world has become pretty, dark, dreary, hard. It's very hard. People are skeptical. People are angry, rightfully so, you know.
Sure.
Life is going, it's not going as most people would want it to. So I desire to shed a bit of light in people's lives, and love is a part of that, and it's a part of accepting people as they are, because that was something I struggled with for a long time, to accept myself.
Right.
And people just need that. They need to experience love, being taken in as you are, and being encouraged to continue to grow to be even better. And then perseverance. Perseverance. Yes. So I was a quitter. That was me before. And it was out of fear and doubt. But I found that to do anything really well, you have to see it through.
That's right.
You have to be consistent.
Yeah.
No matter how painful, if you believe in something, go for it. No matter how difficult it is. So that's something I live by, and it gives you credibility with people. True.
Pigelela. Pigelela.
Okay. Yes.
Isn't it Shingirira in
Shingirira, yes.
Yeah. Shingirira. That's right. Okay.
So perseverance will get you.
Right, so love, perseverance.
Yes.
The third one?
And then the third one is, why am I forgetting? I don't know that value. I've never heard of it before. Yeah.
Why am I forgetting? But I'm sure it's a cool one. But if you remember, we can come back to it, right? We can come back to it. So, tell me a little bit about Black African women. What inspired the beginning of that? I mean, what led to it? How far have you come across?
Yeah.
What is it made up of? And what is its core drive? What's the purpose of this organization? Is it an organization? Is it an association? Is it a membership? Is it a club? Is it a company?
Sure. Okay,
what is
so
it?
it's a movement now.
Movement.
And hopefully we are working towards making it an organization.
Can we cut there? As always happens.
So Black African Women is actually a movement.
Okay.
At present, a membership club. We're turning it into that. So it's a safe space, a community where Black African women can find encouragement. And where it came from, or where it started, when I was trying to figure out who's Sonia, I went online, and especially as a Christian Black African woman, I was looking for inspiration messages that spoke to what I was going through. And I struggled to find something that related to me as an Black African woman.
Right.
So I started a blog. And I just thought, you know what? As I went through life, as I experienced, as I learned, I just shared what I did learn.
Okay.
And I found that people and women resonated with that. And it sort of grew from there. And then I started sharing inspiration online, social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
I saw that.
You saw that?
I read that, I saw that, and I was like,
Yes.
how do I get in?
Yes.
I should be invited one day to speak to these Black African
Yes,
women.
and we do.
No, but you guys were like, no, we don't want a man
No,
coming to talk to
want-
us women. We're already
No,
empowered.
We want men. So for me, it's like we learn from from people around us, not just women, men, because we may have a one-dimensional understanding of ourselves as women, and it's nice to get color from a man, how a man views us or experiences us.
Okay.
You know, and that's what I've personally gone through. It's not just I've been sort of groomed and mentored by women and men. Okay. So it hasn't been really one-dimensional. So that's why it started.
True.
And now where we are, I've got a team that I work with, and we produce content that we believe is relevant to the Black African woman to encourage her to seek her identity. So we're a Christian-based movement.
Right.
But we don't, it's not something that we want to force down people's throats, but it's something that we want to introduce people and encourage them that, you know what, there's someone who's bigger and who can help you with the issues you're grappling with emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, so that's it in a nutshell. That's its purpose.
Yeah, no, I've seen, guys, I've seen the stuff, Instagram, they're posting all these images, high tea, it's just women there, and there's no guys, we're not allowed to be there, and everyone's black, and then they've got the hair series where everyone's got just natural hair.
Yes.
They don't want to be wearing weaves. You mentioned earlier when you started out, you started sharing your story, and I really believe in the power of story.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts around the African story? Because, I've always had an issue with the West and the Far East telling the story of Africa and how we need to be sharing more of our story.
Yes.
How do you think that can unfold if we really became more assertive in telling our stories?
So I've been doing this maybe for 3 years, properly maybe a year and a half. More intentionally. And what I've found is, as Africans, I don't know if we're afraid of judgment, but we are generally afraid to tell our story. And when I first started, I remember people close to me were like, why are you sharing so much? Now you won't get married. Or, like...
Men don't want people who tell their stories. Just stay in your place. Go to the kitchen, go cook.
Yes, exactly. And I found that as Africans, that's why we sort of keep bumping the same walls. Because we're having someone else tell our story, like you're saying, the West telling our narrative. And we are not coming to the party and saying, actually, this is what I go through, this is what I experience, although it's starting to grow. I think we're getting more comfortable with the idea. Maybe it stems from our culture as Africans. We're generally people who keep our business to ourselves.
That's true.
But what I think would really help us is to be more open and realize that, I can't do this alone. I can't grow alone, and the world won't know who I really am unless I open my mouth and say,
That's true. So let's talk about empowerment, right? Because your movement in as much as it's about Black African women sharing stories, encouraging each other, it's also sort of helping drive a sense of empowerment with people to be able to say, step up to the plate.
Yes.
You know, live within your dream, live within your vision, walk your path. What does empowerment mean for you?
Okay, so empowerment to me it means to equip.
Right, to equip.
And I think what I've really enjoyed is seeing organizations and companies that are equipping Black women in terms of business, for you to do business, entrepreneurship, even career success. And I think for me, empowerment or the kind of empowerment I'm really driven by starts from the base.
Right.
So it's self-awareness. That's my thing. It's because, like I said, for a very long time, I was not self-aware. And I just accepted whatever came and I just did whatever I thought I needed to do in that moment. And I found that I wasn't growing and I wasn't developing even in things like my career, my work opportunities, my relationships, my friendships.
Amazing. It's like you literally, you know, you're speaking about emotional intelligence already.
Pretty much, yes.
So, you know, like self-awareness is the first quadrant, you know it. Self-management, social awareness, and then relationship management. Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
100%. Yeah. So I think that's where, that's what, for me, that's true empowerment, because once you give someone the key to understand, you know, themselves better, have emotional intelligence, they can operate in different spheres more effectively and get more of what it is they want.
Relate more with people as well.
Exactly.
Interesting. So what's the future of
Black African woman?
Bo?
Yeah.
Is that what you guys call it, by the way?
Bo, yeah.
Bo. What's up, Bo? It's not Bay, it's Bo.
No, not Bay, no.
You know, like we used to say boo. It's almost close to Bo, boo.
I get you.
Okay, my daughter will probably look at me and give me that look like she probably is, because you guys know she's the producer. She's behind you guys, giving me that look like kind of like dad. Let it go.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what is the future of this organization, this movement?
Yeah. So I think long term for me, it's for us to impact Black African women all over Africa and the world, really. Any Black African woman anywhere, and not just Black African women, but Black African people. So we want, I hopefully will be able to grow with my team some centers. So have a physical space where women can come in, receive coaching. So I'm also a life coach.
Right.
Forgot to mention that.
Should have mentioned that at the beginning. I asked you who you were.
I know. Slipped my mind, but it's because I wear different hats. Yeah. So I'm also a life coach.
Different dukes.
Yeah, different dukes. Yes.
That's the way. So people can come to the center, and you guys can then obviously help with life coaching skills and that. And
more on the EQ side, that kind of coaching. So I would really love to open centers for that, and not just in South Africa, but hopefully grow that into different countries within Africa. And then also to start in the more medium term, or short term, meetings where we gather bi-monthly. And have conversations and learn from men and women on different topics that are really burdensome to the Black African women.
What is bi-monthly again? Is it like every second month?
Yes.
Okay, it's not like twice a month.
No, every 2.
By the way. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, and then to grow our current events. So right now we've got 3 events on our calendar. The Natural Hair event, which we just had in May, which was really awesome. Cool. And then the hike breakfast that we're going to have in August. And
I'm not coming to the hike breakfast. No, I'm not about that.
You're not about that life.
Hiking, nah. I'll wait for you at the bottom.
At the bottom,
it's like going to watch the comrades.
Yeah.
I'll watch you guys from the beginning, and then I'm going to drive to the end, and I'll be waiting for you guys to come through.
Cheer us on. Yeah, well done. And then the last one will be a weekend retreat for women. So we want to grow those and encourage more women to attend, and hopefully start partnering with other organizations, turn it into an MPO. So we can help less privileged Black African women.
I really think you're onto something fantastic, very inspirational, and I'm sure you've got a very great team. Guys, so we're on set with Sonia, and she's talking about the Black African woman. So obviously, as you know, we're going to ask you, what are these 3 nuggets, these 3 calls to action that you can share with our viewers before we sign out?
Sure. So I think what I would like to encourage the viewers to do more of is be still. Take time to be still. That's a very important one.
Be still.
Be still. Mm-hmm. So spend time with yourself, reflecting, don't be afraid to look in the mirror, so to speak.
Yeah.
And for me, that includes meditating, journaling, and even if it means you speak to people who know you, who can give you insight into who you are.
Yeah.
And then take the time to go back and think upon that and what it is you want to do with yourself, who you want to be, most importantly.
Right.
And that will drive you, so be still.
But before you go on second one, because I'm just thinking, like, when you say be still, I think about Johannesburg. Like, really, it's difficult to be still. We live in a rushed environment. It's very complex. We live in a VUCA world where there's all this volatility and uncertainty, and people are constantly on the go. It's rush, it's traffic, it's deadlines, it's a lot of work. How does one actually stop and be still? It must be one of the most difficult things to do.
It is. No, it is. And thank you for pointing that out. That actually was difficult for me. I think what I found works for me and other people is to be very intentional. So be selfish about that. You know that the day is going to get crazy. And for me, I found when I do it in the morning, before I even leave the house.
Right.
So even if you wake up 15 minutes earlier, just to take the time to do what you need to do for your soul, that helps, because you're right, once you get going, that's
a rush.
And so before you even open your phone, you look at your phone, go to the bathroom if you have to, if you don't have a private room in your space, if you share space with other people. I used to do that when I shared with someone. Go into the bathroom and you know, if you want to sit on the seat and just take a moment.
Just take time to be still. Like when most of us are like in the morning we wake up like you're really on your phones, you want to check out who's messaged me or let me have what's the news looking like? And so okay, so 1, be still. 2,
still. Okay, so second of all, I think what has really helped me and what can help you as well is mentorship. So for me, mentorship is an organic process. So it's not about going and saying, okay, I like this person, please be my mentor. It's an organic relationship. So open your mind up to where you want to go with it in terms of career. You want to develop your career. You want to understand how to relate better to people or grow relationships romantically. And then look around
romantically.
Yes, it's important, Alex.
Of course, yes.
Really.
Yes.
So look
as I wave at your bae, sorry, we'll be done just now. We'll be sorry, bae. We'll be done just now.
So be open to people around you. Open your mind and look at the people that have been placed in your life. I believe God places people in our lives.
That's true.
And if we open our minds, so what I did, I found that I had different women who had attained things that I wanted to get to in life. So some women who were married, and I loved how they did marriage. Some women, how they raised their children. Yeah. Some women, how they did career, entrepreneurship. You know, some women, emotional growth and spiritual. And I started just speaking to them, you know, saying hi, if I'm around them, asking questions. Yeah. That develops that relationship.
You've got to have a sense of curiosity, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Because that leads to growth. Okay.
And then people are willing to share and to say, okay, you know what, Sonia, I thought of you. I remember you asked this question. This reminded me of you, and they link you up with opportunities and with information that will help you to grow. And I think as young women and young people today, we think we know a lot of things, and that was me. So I'm not, no judgment. This was me. I struggled with getting information from older people because I didn't feel they understood me. But I realized they actually have a lot of wisdom if you just take the time to sit at their feet and learn. And you can take what works for you and what doesn't, and it's okay. So
cool. Be still, mentorship.
Yes.
3.
Okay, and then 3, I think it's extend grace to yourself.
Extend grace.
Yes.
Okay.
So for me, this one was hard for me. I tend to be someone who's very hard on myself. And I think it's because I struggled with my self-worth. And I just felt like, you know what, I wasn't doing anything right. And even when I started trying to better my life, there was always this negative voice just trying to beat me down. And I think especially as women, we struggle to be kind to ourselves. We're kinder to those around us. Yep.
You always put yourself at the bottom of the priority list. I find that's very common with women, is that they really, it's actually such a good thing, but it's also a bad thing, because it's good for everybody else in that they benefit from all the good things you do for them, but you're last on the priority list, you know.
And you're slowly dying without even realizing it. I mean, the analogy I always like to use is when you get on a plane, and you know they're doing that whole demonstration, you know,
in the event of pressure.
Yes.
We know those things, follow the line.
Yes. So the mask.
Put it around your face before you put it on the child.
Exactly.
Okay, got that.
Point.
Yeah.
And I didn't really used to get it, but after a while as I went through life, I realized, you know, and they say, like, once you're able to put that mask on yourself, you can function.
Yes.
And then you can see who needs help and you can go and help them. But if you're busy, let me put them up, and then you pass out half
exactly.
midway.
Or maybe you won't even be able to do it effectively because you're not thinking clear, you don't have enough oxygen in your brain.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I realized that I needed to do that for myself.
Yeah, extend grace.
Extend grace to myself, and then I can do it more effectively for others.
Yeah. You know, they say the same thing about people who are lifeguards. A lifeguard will go into the water to save someone who's frantically drowning.
Yes.
If that person fights with them in the process, they let them drown a bit until they get to a point where they kind of like realize, okay, I need to surrender and just stop. And that's the best time to rescue someone.
Absolutely.
Sonia, thank you so much. I really had a great conversation with you. I learned so much sitting at your feet.
Likewise, Alex.
And I really appreciate it, and hopefully we'll have you back some other time.
I would love to be back. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Right, guys, so this is it. Thank you again to Sonia on this episode of Exceptional TV. Remember to do the things that need to be done. Follow us on all our social media pages, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and if you want to get in touch, it's alex@exceptionaltv.co.za. By the way, how do people get in touch with you?
So you guys can send me an email, theblackafricanwoman@gmail.com, or you can find us on Instagram @theblackafricanwoman. Yeah.
The Black African Woman.
Yes.
From me, I'm out.